Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown. Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You unlock this door with the...
What up, YouTube? It is Two Fat Guys Pool Lists, and it is issue 170. That is correct. You didn't, nothing's wrong with your headphones, even though mine are. I'm about to get some new headphones here soon. It is issue 170 of Two Fat Guys Pool Lists live here on YouTube, and we are so very happy that you're here joining us either live or as a past episode. Thank you so much for joining us this evening or night or morning, whenever you're watching this. We much appreciate it. This week was, I would say, pretty solid in the sense, I would say Independence. I think Independence were incredibly solid.
Yes.
We don't have a lot of DC on today's show, so I mean, we'll get there. Marvel, I think Marvel was pretty vanilla. There were a couple things that happened that were cool, but I don't think there was a complete standout issue for me. And that's saying something when Peach Momoko has a book this week. So we'll get into it. But first, before we get into it, we got to talk about our show's sponsor, which is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. Yes, that is Nate and I's LCS that we frequent. They have 3 locations, one in Fort Worth, one in Irving, and one in Hearst. All 3 of them are amazing. We much encourage you, if you are in the DFW area, to go check out Collected Comics and Games, where you can get a lot of cool stuff. You can get new comics, back issues, trading cards, board games, D&D dice, books, figurines, models, manga. I feel like I'm missing something. Graded comics, toys.
Come on now.
Comic book boxes,
That's not
posters, pops.
it.
I think that's it, right?
That's not it. You're clearly forgetting your favorite, and you know it.
Oh yeah, plushies. Yeah, you can get plushies too. Anyway, head on over if you're in the area to Collected Comics and Games and go check them out. They've got Brent and Ron have an amazing store that has so much cool stuff. So we would much appreciate it if you did go check them out if you're here locally. If you're not, what up, Jaden? They have a website. It's called staycollected.com. It's an amazing little website. You can go and you can get all those things I just talked about over there. So if you're not in the DFW area and you're looking to support our show sponsor, go check out staycollected.com, where you can buy all them goodies and more over there on that website. The other thing we got to talk about is our milestone giveaway, which we're currently on the head or onto the road towards 1,250 subscribers. Yes, that's right. When we hit 1,250 subscribers, we're giving away a slab. And that slab is a 9.8 CGC grade Uncanny X-Men #1 signed by Jim Chung. It's a pretty cool book. We're giving away our first goal towards do they have adult toys? I don't think so, but I'm pretty sure there's an adult toy place right down the road.
All toys are adult toys if adults play with them.
That's true. Anyway, you can get one of these. You can get this if you subscribe. You can be entered to win if you're already subscribed, but if you're not, so hit that subscribe button so you can be entered to win this kick-ass slab that we'll be giving away when we hit 1,250 subscribers. It's a great little slab here, and it's signed by Jim Chung. We've got actually another slab that we're giving away when we hit 2,000 subscribers, and that one's signed too. When we hit 2,000 subs, a 9.8 CGC grade Thor #1 Nick Klein sketch variant signed by the great.
He's dead.
He's not dead. He's very much alive. The great, the chosen Donnie Cates. So when we hit 2,000 subs, we're giving this away. So please make sure to hit that subscribe button. It would be much appreciated. All right, guys. Well, before we talk about this week's comics, we got to do it. We got to talk about the epicness that has swept the comic book world Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's losing their minds about it. It's been a phenomenal week.
Oh.
For X-Men.
Like, what is this man talking about?
Spoilers, people die in this issue, so in this episode. So if you haven't seen it already, we're talking about some shit. But if you have seen X-Men 97's episode 5, get ready to talk. All right. But before we do that, let's talk about chat. John What Up? He goes, "Hey everyone, another strong week of comics, a lot of goodness, good reads." Jaden, how you doing? Do they have? Oh, we got to that. Do Marvel Legends count? Bold Man James. X-Men 97. Here we go. So this episode I thought was absolutely fantastic. I think it's one of the best things that has been produced for Disney Plus. I'm not saying it's the absolute best, but it ranks up there. I think it's in the top 5 for sure for me.
Okay. I could agree with that.
But I think for me, the reason why it hits is because, you know, when this was announced, I was absolutely on fire about it, man. And you know, the nostalgia of it is great, but fuck, man, they are pushing the plot so heavy. And I genuinely think that this show watches like if you're reading a comic. Like specifically this episode, because of how many things happened in the book and how we were jumping from things like from one sequence to another. But it felt very reminiscent of reading a very well written comic book, and I loved that. But let's just get into the mix of it, right? We're dealing with Genosha, and we kind of know, like, hey, something's about to happen, right? Like Genosha, you don't have to be much of a comic book reader to know that you've heard about the massacre on Genosha and how many mutants died in the comics about that. And it's very clear that that's kind of what we did here. Except we lost some mutants that we didn't necessarily lose in the comics. Still, very impactful. Do we believe that some of these characters are dead? Yes, no, I don't know. Magneto dead?
Oh, no.
Right.
I so didn't believe he was dead that I forgot he died.
Well, there you go. But Gambit, he did.
Yeah,
he don't die. Now, theories. Okay, so one, who unleashed the attack? Who do we think?
Probably one of the awful human people. Stryker.
So we're thinking humans because there's a theory that it's Cassandra Nova going around.
I think that got debunked because that was going around pretty strong, and the writer was like,
"It's not Cassandra."
He was like, "I mean, she's in the show, but I have a feeling that some fans might be disappointed with her involvement." So
okay, so it's probably just more of a cameo.
What's up, Stefan?
So I have a theory, and I'm sure it's not at all anywhere close to being true. And it may be me just hoping and pleading, but it just popped into my mind the other day when I was, reading about this episode and everybody's review and everyone just kind of gushing over it, which I'm here for. I thought it was absolutely amazing. So what do you think is going to happen? Like, do we think that these mutants are dead? Do we think we're in an alternate timeline? Do we think are we going to get them back? Like, what do you think?
No, I think they're definitely dead.
You think they're dead?
Okay. Or I guess I think they're dead. I certainly hope they're dead.
Well, we're dealing with Cable, so
Yeah, boy, would I be disappointed if we're dealing with alternate timeline, shifting, morphine. This is another thing, and we're coming from the past. Like, Jesus Christ! Like, we're doing all that. We've been doing that a million times. Tell an original story here. Like, I know that we're literally doing the Chris Claremont marathon run. Like, let's try to get all that done, and let's try to hit all the highlights of X-Men in the past 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
so would
we just skip that one? Can we just skip that trope for once?
Well, would you be interested if it was done in an original way?
I mean, sure. I will not be upset after this. There's only one thing this show could do to upset me, and that is to try to continue to be apologetic for Cyclops. Now they kind of made him revert a little bit in this issue, which is
they
good.
showed.
Y'all
They
are
were
starting
showing
to
his
see
colors,
the piece of
yeah.
shit he's always been.
Oh yeah.
But if they try to reverse that yet again and make him the good guy who's going to lead the team and all, that's the only thing that will irritate me.
I don't think they're going to. I think there's a full stop that they're gonna try. And you kind of got it in the X-Men films too, like in the Fox X-Men films. He was always a dick, right? And you were always, I mean, because let's be honest, the main character of the X-Men Fox movies is Wolverine. Like he's the main character.
Have a good one, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, appreciate it, and you don't have to apologize. We're glad you're just here for the second that you were here. So here's my theory. Okay, so if you haven't already seen the episode, spoilers, a lot of them die. If you haven't seen the episode already, there's a massive Easter egg in the in the Genosha scene, right as they get into Genosha and the fireworks are going off, and there's a silhouette of the Watcher watching this whole event play out. So to me, that's already one thing of saying, okay, we are potentially looking at an alternate timeline of the X-Men. Because we already have that form of storytelling outlined within the What If context, right? So we could be watching an entire series of What If. Just saying. Now, I'm not saying that that's clever. I'm just saying that's a possibility.
Yeah.
And I can already hear your eye roll. So I already am anticipating.
No.
No. You don't know where I'm going.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Where are you going?
I think if you still have your number one cover A's, I'm speculating so fucking hard here, Nate. Like hard. Like your eyes might pop. Like your eyes may roll all the way back to your head and shoot out of the back of your head through your window.
Okay, I'll try.
I am going to say here right now that I believe that when X-Men 97 ends and season 2 is announced, we will witness, because they're gonna do a season 2. It's already been, they are.
We'll see.
Okay.
Disney's notorious for following through on all the things they greenlight.
Who's watching The Watcher? This thing's fucking blowing up, dude. Season 2, or it will be alluded that the island, the nation state of Krakoa, is coming to X-Men 97.
Oh no, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Oh, well, it's happening. I think it's happening. I think
the only thing this show is really about, not the only, a lot of what this show is about is nostalgia, and they know just as many non-comic readers and comic readers are watching this, and they know a lot of us are quite upset about the end of Krakoa, so they're gonna throw us a bone and say, "Oh, no, don't worry, remember Krakoa." It was just 3 years ago, but do you remember?
No, but I think they're going to. To me, it was one of the, again, everyone's talked about it when it first started. It was blowing everybody's minds out. You know what I mean? It's just like, it was just insane, the idea of Krakoa. And what better way to resolve, which is what we just saw. I mean, gut wrenching. And then, it sucked, dude. I mean, I know it didn't hit for you, but it did for me.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Like,
I'm not trying to dog it in the slightest little bit. I just can't make the connection. I can't do cartoon connections.
I know you can't.
But when you're a cartoon person, I don't feel bad for you.
hearing Rogue just lose her shit, and when she says "I can't feel you," and she's literally touching Gambit, and she's more speaking of the fact that she can't absorb his power. I was just like, that just sucks, man.
Yeah.
But what better way to bring, like, say Magneto actually is dead. Like, I know we're probably like he's not, but imagine if everyone that got wiped gets wiped, right? And then we see this jump where, oh shit, Moira and the Xavier are having a discussion on a bench, and bam, there we go. Season 2 is literally going to be about Krakoa. I would lose my fucking shit.
I would too. If that's the way they ended season 1, that would be
so cool.
Awesome.
It's a stretch, but I'm just going to say here, just in case if it happens, I said it here first, that I think it would be so cool.
I will just say, though, that I think the biggest praise that I can give it, especially as someone who's so critical with anything mutant right now, is I'm having a great time, and I don't really care. I just enjoy each issue.
Oh my god,
each
yeah.
episode. I'm just having fun with it, so I don't really care. Whatever.
No, I mean
What you
it's
want.
definitely, you know, Wednesdays or Wednesday morning or whenever you watch it has definitely heightened. You know, it's bringing me back to when we were watching Loki. It's bringing me back when I was watching Moon Knight and She-Hulk. Like it's just great. You know, and I know we got a teaser trailer for, you know, the midway season trailer where we see, you know, some stuff that's coming up. You know, Sinister is going to be heavily involved in the rest of the season. I'm sure we're going to get Apocalypse. I'm sure we're going to get the Phoenix. I'm sure, you know, Captain America apparently is making an appearance, or the Avengers may be making an appearance. Yes, because at the end of the very middle, or at the end of the mid-season trailer, they're somewhere in the woods where it's snowing, and Cap's shield is like fa-thunk, like gets stuck into the ground. So we may be seeing potentially Avengers versus X-Men. I don't know. We'd like the ideas and all this stuff it's just limitless in the sense of what direction they go in, and it's going to be great either way. And I really hope what's going to happen is X-Men 97 ends and Disney goes, you know what, we're jumping back into all the other animated 90s cartoons that were done. So Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Avengers, like all that jazz, Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four, like all those cartoons.
Silver Surfer?
Yeah, dude. Like
I've been meaning to watch that.
It is so bad but so good at the same time. Like it's just, and that's what's great about this. So like I really do hope that we get a mixture of all of our 90s cartoons coming back, maybe even into a mixture of What If. I mean, clearly with us seeing the Watcher silhouette in this episode, like possibilities are limitless, right? You know, we've got Deadpool coming up. I'm sure there'll be a reference to the 97 cartoon in there. Like, you know, I know a lot of people are down on the MCU at the moment, and whatever. If that's you, I'm sorry. But I am still on this roller coaster having a grand old time. And I'm very excited to see what Kevin Feige and the rest of Marvel really have in store for us, because it just feels like something's brewing, and it's about to get even crazier than it is already. So,
and this isn't the only time we're going to talk about cartoons on the show today. Just so you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. What up, Stefan? Let's see. Never trusted the Watcher. Who's watching the Watcher? The other Watchers, the Society of Watchers. Someone should. Did Scarlet Witch say "I can't feel you" to disassemble version of in WandaVision? That's the first thing I thought. Yeah. No, there's a connection there too. Yeah, she did. So
does she?
She at one point, I think it's she goes.
The thing that she whispers to is "No more mutants." That's the thing she whispers in the like big scene. Now, I'm not saying she doesn't say that.
No, when she's in front of Vision's dismembered body, she says, "I can't feel you."
Oh shit.
Yeah, dude. So like there's just a lot of parallels. So I know that whatever direction this show goes at the end of the season, it's going to be great. And you know, I've also seen people like calling for the head writer, the guy that they fired, to come back, but again, we don't know.
Yeah,
we just don't know why he got fired. So like I mean he had to have, because if they're not saying anything, it wasn't because they had creative differences. Like something went down, which sucks, because like clearly what he has produced is phenomenal. So that it really does stink that whatever happened there. Anyway, all right, well, let's get to this week's comics. So we're just gonna jump right into it. What you guys are here for. First off, Boom Studios' House of Slaughter issue number 22 from the Tiny Onion.
Yeah, so this might be surprising to some on House of Slaughter front, but this was almost my pick of the week.
Wow.
Been a while since House of Slaughter has been this good.
That's crazy.
But, and I think I say this every time, but thank God Tate Braball is back on this book.
I think you said that.
Clearly has the touch and is, you know, literally half of Tinian's like Instagram is him hanging out with Tate Braball. So like, I get it. They're pretty close. Like their stories are obviously good at sync. But this issue was awesome. So they convince, I don't know if you remember this from the previous 2 arcs ago. Jace is the one, he gets his hand cut off. He was the one that was dating Aaron. He has the misfit children that, you know, the houses are trying to take. And he's like saving them, like rescuing them. and one of them runs off and is like, "Hey, like, no, I want to join one of the houses." Well, they decide they're going to use him as bait to try to lure Jace into the city. And now the two families are basically like, "No, we got to be the one to kill Jace. No, we got to be the one to kill Jace." And they've got this huge thing set up at this abandoned amusement park, and it just seems like it's infallible, right? Like they've got snipers and they've got archers and they've got silver masks and they got white masks and they've got all this stuff happening. And basically, in a nutshell, Jace outsmarts all of them and ends up killing like half of all of the people there before getting away. And it turns out that the little boy has been playing spy the entire time and we didn't know, which I was very happy about because I was worried that that he really was just kind of being a little snot and not part of Jace's team or whatever. But as far as like the actual, one thing that's kind of been missing a little bit is like that something is killing the children feel, like the pacing and the framing, the plotting, that kind of stuff. And this issue was like chock full of it. Like I feel like Tate finished this one and handed it to Tinian, and Tinian was like, "Okay, let's do this to make it exactly something is killing the children." It was like the pace was really good. It was like really violent when it needed to be, but very succinct and not often. I don't know. Everything was right about this. It was very, very good. I like the big implications of the Slaughterverse that is happening in this book because this felt more like secondary, which I mean it should be, right? But this clearly feels like no. Now we're starting to even out the stories. Like they're both very heavy in the overall thing that Tinian's trying to tell in this Slaughterverse story.
Okay. Are you frozen on your end?
No.
Am
I?
Well, you're frozen on my screen.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just boop.
Beep, beep, beep. There you go.
How about now?
You're good now.
Well, anyway, that's House of Slaughter. I really enjoyed it. And if you happen to be reading this and aren't sure, just read the tape problem.
Well, John says this is the first House of Slaughter issue I've read. It's pretty good, and I got the awesome black and red variant cardstock.
This is a good choice for a random first issue because it just has that something is killing the children
vibe. Nice. Nice. Doesn't have that. What is it? Damn it! I had the line. Damn it! Spit. It'll come to me. Okay. All right, Uncanny Valley issue number 1.
Here's our other cartoon talk. I was not going to read this, not because I wasn't interested. I mean, it is a boom number 1. But when I got to the shop, there were no copies left. And I think there was like a 1 in 50, but I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'll see if the shop by work has it. Shop by work didn't have it either. So I was like, you know what? Maybe this is the universe telling me I've got enough. I don't need to tack on another book that we weren't planning to include. And then John hit us in the DMs. Was like, nah, man,
you gotta go pick it up.
Read this book, and so I did, and I'm very glad I did. This was good. It basically revolves around a kid who's new in town. His mom is a traveling nurse, and he's like the new kid who's trying to fit in, and like weird shit keeps happening to him. Like he literally jumps off a bridge with these 2 boys he's trying to impress, and the 2 boys break their legs, and he just like indents the ground, like he's like weighs like a ton, and it's like, oh, weird, okay. And then at another point, he's in a cafeteria, and everyone's being dared to eat this really hot chili pepper, and he does, and he blacks out, and when he comes to, his cafeteria tray is on fire, and they say he breathes fire, and so like, and then in the other one in shop class, he like hit his thumb with a hammer, and he did something wild. He like, I don't know, punched a hole in the wall that was like 7 feet long. He did something crazy, and so like, all these weird things keep happening. His mom's like, "No, you're just being a kid bunk kid. You need to just do what you're supposed to do."
Kid bunk kid.
And I mean, she's not really like that, but like, she's just like, "I can't believe you're doing this. What are we gonna do? I can't take off for work, and now you're home." And they go home that evening, and he goes to take out the trash, and there's like these crows everywhere, and he throws the trash in there. He's like, "Mom, why are all these birds outside?" She's like, "Birds? Are they crows?" He's like, "Well, I don't know. They're just black birds." And then boom, all these crows just come flooding into the house, and shit kind of just gets wild. These crows are trying to take him. They're like screaming, like, "Get the half breed, get the boy." This weird cartoon grandpa jumps in. Like, it turns out that his literal grandpa, but he's a cartoon. And he's like a rootin' tootin' Looney Tunes kind of guy. And,
So his mom fucked a cartoon.
boy, do I not know. So here's the bottom line. It gets wild. It gets a little weird. If you are a Saturday morning cartoon kid, newer stuff, older stuff, especially the like Looney Tunes reruns and stuff like that, I bet you had a blast with all the throwbacks, all the little nods, all the winks. Like at one point, he wants to run and his legs spin like the Roadrunner before he runs out, and he literally busts out of the wall. And it's like, like the hole in the wall, like he's shaped like his body. And I noticed none of that when I read the comic, because I didn't ever really watch cartoons at all. That's why I'm not into like X-Men 97 like that. I just never read I never watched cartoons like that. It's just, I was reading books. I wasn't watching TV.
You were educated.
I wasn't educated. I just got yelled at. So I decided to not get yelled at. And so I had to look these up to like see, oh, okay, this was alluding to this and this was alluding to that. Like I got the Roadrunner one, but some of the others I didn't get. So I will say this. The plot itself is good enough that I'm going to read the second issue, because I'm just really see why is his grandpa a little cartoon? Why are they calling him? Obviously, he's the half breed because maybe he's half cartoon. Like, why is he getting taken? Who are these crows from? I don't know. It's interesting enough to me that I'm curious. But if you are into cartoons and stuff like that, like I'm sure this was like right up your fucking alley. So I don't know. What'd John say? Oh,
John. John sent us a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, John. Uncanny Valley, Action Comics, and Beneath the Trees are my top 3 this week. It was a tough call with Transformers, Weapon, X-Men, Resurrection Magneto, and Ultimate X-Men were all worthy. All right, yeah, for sure. Holden, howdy, gentlemen. How was great? What did I say? How was great? Love Aaron's Obi-Wan like appearance to Jace.
Oh, that was pretty wild. He's talking about in Slaughter, Aaron.
Oh.
The one that dies. He appears to Jace. They're like just sitting there talking, and he's like half rotting, and like you can see his ribs and shit. But he's like, sitting there, like being his conscious essentially.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Nice. All right, let's keep going. Next up, we have Napalm Lullaby. Do it or not do it? I mean, what are you holding out on?
I guess do it. I guess.
Well, no. What's the other one? Like, how about you talk through it and then see how you feel?
Okay, so I don't have a lot on this one. So this, I loved this issue, but damn, did I feel like I just wasn't getting all of it. Not like I didn't understand, but I was like, man, how do I put this into words? Like I'm getting it, but like I can't think of the terms that we're doing and like the way to describe it. You know what I mean? Like it was very, very like waxing philosophy. Just like, oh, we're just hitting all these philosophic cues. I loved their banter in the beginning where he's like, we're gonna kill the tyrant who's making us do things exactly so that we can make people do things exactly like. And his sister's just like, are you fucking stupid? Like you're not listening to what you're saying? Like we can't do that. Like we have to let people decide. And he's like, well, people are stupid. And I'm sitting here listening. Like, God damn, I don't know which one's more right. Like, This is like the whole moral philosophy of like humanity, right? But like, is the general public smart enough? And of course, like they're not. But also, we can't take that away from them. And it's just this really big,
well,
I don't know, philosophic turmoil.
Yeah, what I liked about the issue also is just how nonchalantly we're taking these characters and how monumental their powers are, because they basically have the ability to rewrite reality if they lose control of their powers, which is pretty cool. And it's just being kind of alluded to, like, hey, don't, we've got one of these sedative things left, and we only have one, and there are two of us. You know, that kind of thing. So it just feels like Remender is really cooking here. And I'm engaged. I am 100% engaged. I am not. I have not fallen off the wagon. It has not gone anywhere. It's good. It's a good book. It's just before I was just gonna say it just still has that feel of I don't know what's going on, but it's that feeling feels incredibly intentional, and I'm okay with that. Because there are other books that do this that aren't meant to be intentionally not knowing what's going on, and it just leaves a really bad taste in your mouth. Whereas this book, it's like, no, we are not supposed to know. Like, we are supposed to be in mystery. We are shrouded in that, and we just don't know. We just don't know.
You know, and while that's very true for like a lot of the like subtext and plot, we actually got the total opposite with our characters. Like, we feel like we learned a lot about our characters here. They are much younger than I felt like I understood them to be from the first issue.
Right.
And, you know, we're starting to get a glimpse into their personalities, but we're also starting to get a glimpse into their powers and like how that works, like their whole living situation. And then in the end, we get a little glimpse into the part I completely forgot about while reading this book, was the whole like theocracy of it all. Right. I was like, that was the first thing that really made me like Remender was not even tongue in cheek. He was blatantly like calling out religious zealots, like Christian nationalism, straight up. And I was like, oh shit, I kind of forgot about that. That was my favorite part of the first book. And so kind of doing that again. There's the one point where what did he say? I don't remember exactly what it says. I can't find it, but when Jace changes the guy's mind, he was like, hey, y'all are clerics, what the hell's going on here? And he's like, nah, we're good. We're totally compassionate. And the guy's like, no, of course. Like, yeah, you're totally compassionate. He like Jedi mind powered him a little bit. And then he says something like when you're too dumb to question anything, it's easy to trick your mind. You know, he said some silly thing. Ooh, that was a pretty clear jab right there. Yeah. I think a lot of our independents were really close. This one just edges out. But really this and House of Slaughter are close. But I'll give it to this one.
Okay. All right. I'm going to push it. So this is Nate's pick of the week.
That's Nate's pick of the week.
Seven's right too. The scene where the son like just literally started catching the walls on fire because of at the dad. That was pretty intense.
Yep, for sure. It's great. I can't wait for issue 3 for sure. All right, next up we have Transformers issue number 7 from Daniel Ward Johnson, Jorge Corona, and Mike Spicer, and this is my pick of the week. Like, this was just, it was so good. I am incredibly happy that this cover is a red herring, and that my guy, my absolute favorite Decepticon, is now the leader of the Decepticons, Soundwave. Like, and his complete brutal takedown of Starscream and just being like, shut up, bitch. Like, that is just, and the thing is like, Nate, do you know how Soundwave sounds? Do you know how Starscream sounds? So Starscream is very whiny and kind of raspy. He's very fucking annoying. Soundwave is an absolute fucking unit. Like, he like before, after the show's over, you just look up like a clip of Soundwave. He just sounds badass. So like reading his speech bubbles and like knowing how he sounds, I was like, this is so fucking cool. So absolutely love that. I loved just, again, we're continuing to character build amongst our robots, amongst our Transformers, but we're also character building with our human characters, right? And you know, we're getting into a little bit of this like unknown territory with Optimus, and potentially his memory being infused with Spike's dad, because he fused himself with the Matrix and now he's starting to see shit, which is like, that is a very foreign Transformer concept that I think Daniel Warren Johnson's doing a really good job at. I'm really fucking digging seeing we're still dealing with Cybertron, and dude, pour one out for my boy Cup. Like, come on, man. That dude
which is the one that got owned. I mean, multiple.
Well, he didn't get though. Well, the other one got really fucked up. The guy with the shield, like he got blown the fuck up. But like I was rooting for Cup. I love Cup. Cup is from the
one
movies.
that took it in eyeball.
Yeah, so he's an old guy. Like he's an old Transformer, and he in the movies, him and Hot Rod, like they do a whole thing in space where they go onto this planet where the the floating 3-headed Transformer that we saw like a while back, the Judgment Transformer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They deal with that thing on another
Void
planet.
Rivals, though, right?
I believe so. And in Void Rival, or in that part of the movie, they get judged guilty, and so they actually get dropped into like this underwater pit that's got like these shark, like I don't even know how to explain it, like shark-bodied arm, leg, ankylosaurus tailed robots that just eat Transformers. So when Cup died in the book, I was like, God damn it, dude! Like Cup is the old guy. He's the old vet that like is just carrying everybody on his back, and he did that in this issue, and then he fucking got his head blown up. That was fucking crazy. I have to assume who they're alluding to on Cybertron when the other Transformer finds the body that's all just taken apart.
Like, yeah,
it's either got to be Ultra Magnus or it's got to be Hot Rod, which I don't think you know who Hot Rod is, but Hot Rod,
I don't know who either of those people are.
Well, Ultra Magnus was alluded to in the issue. So
well, I mean, that's all I know about him.
Ultra Magnus,
and that's why I assumed that's who that was.
Yeah, Ultra Magnus is basically, he's not better than Optimus Prime, but he is put in a position of leadership and then fucking fails hard in the Transformers movie. Like he gets the Matrix and he tries to open it in front of Galvatron, who's basically Megatron, and he gets his head blown off. So like he's a good warrior. He's not a good leader. So I'm very interested to see. I mean, again, Daniel Warren Johnson is just having fun, and I fucking love it. And I think on top of the other reason why, like all of that is, why this is my pick of the week. The other reason why this is my pick of the week, we have finally seen that thing that we've been talking about, which is that get an artist that can get as close as they can to the source material or the very first issue in the style of art, and Jorge Corona fucking blew it out of the fucking water. I know I've said it twice. I'm sorry.
Way more than I expected, and I expected him to do well.
Yeah, but
he better than I expected.
Killed it, man. Like,
yeah.
if you had not paid attention to the names, you almost probably would have been like, you would have never noticed.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're just like a diehard DWJ fan, which we are, you would have not noticed, and it looked great. Optimus looked all of them looked great. I mean, blew it out of the water, and I'm so excited. That makes me just feel so much. It just, I loved this book before, and I'm just satisfied. I think is the best word I can say is satisfied, because we're not getting such a drastic art change where this book doesn't make any sense. It does.
Yeah.
And unlike Hulk, 100%, John, and we'll get to that.
All right, we'll get to that.
We'll get to it. But this was absolutely great. I'm so excited for this book. And the only thing that if there's one negative about this book is that I just don't feel comfortable sharing this book with my boys right now, and they see me reading Transformers and they're like, I want to read it. And I'm like, you just can't, guys. Like, it's a little too violent. Because they're 5 and 3, like they can't do it yet. But when they get a little older, they're gonna absolutely love the series because it's so good. But it's my pick of the week, and I do not apologize for it.
I don't think really sucks up.
Grayson says, yeah, Jorge really did his thing. More companies in series should do this. 100%. 100. It should be the standard. DC and Marvel could learn a thing from here, but they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. It's not ingrained in their culture.
That's also why I purchased 5 independent comics and 2 DCs this week. So.
There you go. Exactly.
And I shouldn't have purchased one of those DCs. I regret it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oops, spoiler alert.
All right. When the Blood Has Dried, issue number 1.
Okay, so I had this picked out, and then we did the show, and I was like, man, I just don't know if it's cut. I don't know. I don't know the creative team at all. Like, whatever. And I am glad that I was wrong, because this is a really good issue. I'm going to pull up my notes for this particular one.
Yeah,
just to make
for sure.
I don't forget anything.
A majority of our show tonight is going to be heavily independent, like emphasized, and everything else is going to be just kind of going through it because it was not that great of a week for other comics.
So if you are into like Tolkien style fantasy stories, like the classic tavern, and there's a little bit of dwarves, a little bit of elves, a little bit of humans, the guilds, and there's the the whole like board looking for different jobs and all that, just that whole silly stuff. This is right there. Like, this is right there. Perfect. Really, really good. The plot in this book was a little thin. We basically see a scene where a girl has just survived, a woman has just survived this big bloody battle. She is looking for someone, she finds him, he's dead, and then all of a sudden she takes an arrow to the arm. And someone is there and is like, you should have known, I hate that I have to do this, but you should have known, guild above everything else, and you didn't do that. And then he pulls back his arrow, and all you see is his finger let go. And that's it. And then it says 5 years later. We don't know exactly what happened, but it turns out that that woman is still alive, and it's 5 years later. She's in this very small town. She's running a tavern, living a very peaceful, low-stress life. And we get an amazing glimpse into this town. Like, the setting and like the world building on this issue was really good. There's actually like a little double splash page map, which I think for y'all will look a little bit plain, but the amount of detail that is in this is great. Like, there's like little roads that go into different ways into these trees and stuff, and I don't know. The world building in this is what
it did it for you. Yeah,
it definitely did it for me. However, what we're exactly supposed to do here is not very apparent. We do this whole story, we set the thing, like she's running the tavern, she kicks out a guy that's like cheating at cards, and then they talk to this bard, and the bard's like, "Are you in town? Like, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, have you heard? I'm here for the opening of the new Adventurers Guild." And she's like, literally like stops drinking, is like, "What?" And then we see the guy from the very beginning who shot her with the arrow. He's looking at the piece of paper that says the opening of the Adventurers Guild in town. And so like, that's the tension, but that's not a lot. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like, where's the scary monster or the like demons lurking in the background or like something really, and that wasn't really there. And so that felt a little thin to me. However, the world building was absolutely so amazing that I was just like, I will forgive all of that. I don't know, maybe this should have been shit.
Oh,
this is really good. Nah, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. But
yeah.
We'll keep it because this does have some flaws. The art, when it comes to the landscaping and stuff, fantastic. When it comes to the faces and like characters, not so great. Some of these characters are like our main character, her face is hard to look at. It's like ugly, but ugly in like a poorly drawn sort of way. Like, her proportions are very awkward and not realistic.
Like a Skibbity Ohio Riz way, my guy.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I don't either.
Sure.
We'll get into that later.
Are we doing weird TikTok things that we don't understand?
No, I know what it means. I had to find a way to apply it somehow, and when you said that, I was like, perfect, there it is.
I still don't understand the "hey brother," like people do that, and
it's a fucking stupid streamer.
Yeah, and I've seen him, and I still don't understand.
It's just how he talks. He just says shit like that.
Okay, but seriously, this book, if you're looking for that kind of thing that I described, Tolkien fantasy, if you're looking to like, and I picked this up too because it's a Mad Cave #1. Mad Cave has started to do really good stuff. I feel like they're an underappreciated imprint. This is me kind of being like like a hipster, in a way. Like, hey man, I want to give extra support to the small guys, but like it was worth it. He was worth my money. So I'm in this for an arc, like at least. It's going to give it 5 issues for sure.
What up, Rick? What's up, fam? Glad to catch y'all live again. Hope everyone is doing well. That when the blood has dried, its cover is amazing.
P.S. Death to Cyclops. Someone gift this man all the monies, all the awards. Everything.
Ohio invented Riz.
What is that? I got
Skibbity Ohio Riz, bro. Get on my level, dude.
All right, let's talk about the other.
You're not the vibe, bro. All right, let's get into Marvel. Incredible Hulk, issue number 11.
Oh God, here it goes. I don't want to.
What?
Nothing.
Look, it's fine.
Y'all are all so butthurt about this art. It is
I'm not
butthurt.
butthurt. No, dude, it is not dramatic, and it has nothing. It is not a commentary on the story. Philip Kennedy Johnson is doing a great job, but
I think Earls is doing a great job too.
No, I don't think he is, and here's why. Two issues ago, he did a fine. It felt like there was some effort on the page. Issue 10, not so much. Issue 11, there were moments. But here's why I'm frustrated with the art. And it's what we talk about all the time, Nate, which is you look at this cover and there is an expectation that is set. 100% there is.
I don't agree. I don't agree at all.
That's fine. You look at this cover and I look at this monster and I'm like terrified. I look in the interiors and look at the monster in the interiors and I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is this? I don't know what that is not the same thing. That is not the same thing that I'm looking at. And I feel like I'm looking at a comic that my 5-year-old drew. Like I just don't think it's good. And I think it hurts the story, in my opinion. I love the story, but I think the artwork is just a drop off. I am not saying that it is as bad as Junior. I am not saying that because there were moments in this book where it looked like there was a lot of time and effort put into the splash page or the sequence. But then there were moments where I was just like, oh, that was just like a, and then, hey, color that. And that's just incredibly disappointing in my opinion, because I think it's hurting this arc where, I think if there had been a little bit more time, or, hey, we could just have the fucking cover artist who was originally on the book doing the artwork, then I think this whole arc would have been more effective. I mean, you can't deny that, Nate. If Nick Klein had done the artwork on this,
I am denying it openly.
You can't say that if you saw Nick Klein do this artwork, it wouldn't have been better.
No,
I don't think so.
I'm not arguing that. No. I'm saying no. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I agree that this book would have been better if Nick Klein art, but that's kind of a shitty thing to say.
I agree.
Like that wasn't the situation. And I think that there's a lot of problems with the how, and I'm not saying just you. I'm more upset because I came into this being upset about it, right? And it wasn't because of you, because we hadn't talked about it. It was because of reviews I've seen online.
Yeah.
Like the there's one thing to say, this art didn't do it for me. Like compared to Klein, this is a little bit of a story. It kind of brought me out. But for people to repeatedly be like, oh, I could fucking shit on a piece of paper and be better than this. I'm over it. I'm very tired of that. I'm very, very, very over shitting on art when people are like, there's no way Earl's just said, you know what? I'm just going to fucking jerk a little thing on the page and this is what I got. Like the man's trying to make a career out of it, right? Like this is,
I agree.
Is putting effort in there. I
just feel like issue 9, right? Because that's when he jumped on, was issue 9.
That is when he jumped on, yeah.
When he jumped on issue 9, I was like, oh shit, we don't get Klein. I mean, both of us were rolled our eyes. But then I read issue 9 and was like, hey, I like it. This is good. Like, it worked because it was a different style, yes. But it felt, I don't know. It just feels like as we've progressed through Earls, it feels like it's declined. I think if you looked at issue 9 and you look at issue 11, they don't feel the same, in my opinion. Okay. And I just think that's where I'm falling off, because when we got issue 10, both of us were like, oh shit, no, this is going to be good, because issue 9, I was on board, and then we got to 10 and I'm like, something's missing here. Like, and I don't know if it was just like the sequences when Hulk was in the past with the detective, and it didn't feel the same. Then we jumped into this issue, and there were times where the monster, I don't know, what is it called, the Nephilim,
something like that,
the fallen angel, essentially, Satan's bride. There were times where the gravity, the weight of the character design was there, but then there were other panels where it just didn't look the same. It was I almost was like, wait, is there another artist on this book? Like, that's what happened for me. It was like, shit, did he run out of time and they had to bring somebody else on? No, it's just him, and it felt rushed. But if you put that aside, if you put the art aside, yeah, what Philip Kennedy Johnson's doing here with this, this demon mom that's looking for the Hulk, and Satan even being like, not my problem, Biz. Like, you do what you gotta do. I'm out. Like, I'm whatever, like, that to me says, all right, we're getting ready to do something really cool. And, obviously we're getting ready to deal with Dr. Voodoo and potentially the Strange Academy. I'm all about that. But, like, I'm still really disappointed that we can't get Nick Klein on more than for 2 or even 3 issues. Like, come on, man. Like, what was the last book he was on was No, not Hulk. I'm sorry, the series. Was it Thor?
It was Thor, yeah.
Yeah, and like for a while there, he was doing really well, and then he was jumping in and out, but we kind of more attributed that to the creative team kind of shifting and everything that was going on with Donnie. But like with this, like I want to see interiors like this cover because they look fucking epic, and I think Hulk deserves that. That's all I'm saying. Sorry.
I agree. I'm saying my only point of people, like, we can critique, like who said it? Right. John said it well. I feel like the art is inconsistent with the feel that was established, and it feels like a drop off for this artist. Like, yeah, like that I get. I will clearly concede that the art in issue 9 was significantly.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is when it jumps to attacks, and like that.
Yeah.
It is too much. Like I don't know, for whatever reason it struck a chord with me. I don't know. It didn't work for me at all.
I see what you're saying.
Now the critique of Nick Klein not being able to be whatever it is clearly an issue. This is issue 11, and he's been on. Like, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is supposed to be Johnson and Klein's Hulk. Like, they're co-creators. We keep doing this thing, especially writers on Twitter right now, constantly pushing this idea, making sure that we understand we're artists and writers are co-creators, and it's obviously something that is true. But like, fuck, man, what's keeping Klein from being involved? I don't know if it's workload or if it's Marvel. Like, shit, we can't afford to pay him 11 issues of Hulk. We're gonna have to pull him out after every 2 issues. Like, I don't know what it is.
But that's what we were sold, right? Like, we were sold Nick Klein and Philip Kennedy Johnson. That's what I expect. I'm sorry. Like, and if it had been Philip Kennedy Johnson and John Romita Jr., I'd been like, sorry, I'm out. Like, I love you, Phil, but like, I'm out. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, it kind of feels like that's where we're at right now. To be fair, this is a better issue than 10. I agree. No, like 9 was incredibly disappointing, and I don't think, if I'm being honest, I don't think that was Earl's fault. I think that was the pacing of the story. Like, we went from like this mystery to going like, oh, we're going back in history, and it's just like, okay, we get that. Like, we know, like, we get it,
Yeah, no, I agree with that too.
So
I
don't
feel like
hate him
that
as
was a Johnson fumble.
Yeah, I don't hate him as an artist, but I just looks like Earl. Is that what you said? Yeah, okay, you got that one. So anyway, because I saw 9 and then 11, I thought we were talking about something else. It was like issue 9 to 11.
911.
All right, let's keep on moving. Invincible Iron Man issue number 17. There's not really much to say. We're if there's a critique, I have an actual critique now of this run, and it's in this issue. You have the 2 smartest men in this book, Tony Stark and Fei Long, going at it, right? And then at the end of the issue, they come to terms with one another, and they both now realize the AI that aligned itself with Orcus is turning on us, and now they're getting ready to end the world. How did we not see it come? You're fucking Iron Man, dude.
Yeah.
It's this is a flaw, and it's very evident in this. It's very evident even in, and I have been giving him praise on his X-Men books, on Karen Gillan, because this 180 idea that nobody in Orcus or the Avengers or the X-Men saw the threat of the AI of Nimrod and Moira and all of them being fucking robots. Come on, like in this issue, you literally see Tony go, "Damn it! How did I not see that happening? Like, how did I not see that coming?" And you're like, "The fuck are you talking about, Tony?"
Yeah.
Like, and so this to me, I feel like I'm starting to get to where you're at, Nate, where it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? Can we just end this? Like, give me somewhat of a gratifying ending, and let's just get to fucking, man, I am saying fucking a lot. Let's just get to Mark Wade's, or is it not Mark Wade? Jed McKay's X-Men. Like, let's just get there. Let's get to the nostalgia. Let's get to 90s. Let's have Magneto be a total badass and be in charge of all of the X-Men, and we just go do the thing, right? Like, let's just get there, because to me, it's somewhat insulting for us to go that Tony and Fei Long had no fucking clue that the robots, the Sentinels, everyone, all the AI, all the robots were gonna just play nice the entire time. We have known this since Hickman. They always lose, and who do they lose to? The fucking robots, like they lose to the robots. So I don't know, man. Like this was just Iron Man and Fei Long beating the shit out of each other, and then Fei Long going like, "Hey, by the way, I don't control the Sentinels because AI." And Tony's like, "Damn it." There you go. Like, Miss Marvel, the man, Marvel and Mutant Menace. I'm sorry. Like, it. I also am right there with you, Nate. Like, I don't know how this run. Let me go back to it since I'm talking about it. I don't know how Iron Man continues after X-Men is over. If it does,
this is an X book. It can't.
Well, you can't say it can't.
I can say that. I cannot.
Gary,
it's Marvel. They will do everything that we don't want.
and I won't say that I don't have faith that Gary Jerry can't write a good Iron Man book. I think he can. I just don't know how he gets himself out of this hole. And then again, we talk about this all the time, like the whole inconsistency in the sense of timeline. Like, we're just over here in Avengers where they're pulling out a huge execution of plans against Orcus. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then we jump back and I'm fighting Fei Long. Like, no, you were over here with Black Panther. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. And get over it, right? We
should just have Jed McKay writing this book, right? As if he's got enough on his plate.
He could do it. He is doing everything that we wanted Joshua Williamson to do over at DC, but he's doing it at Marvel. Like, he's just doing it. Like, he's doing it better. So okay, hold on, John. I must have been drunk when I read this issue. I can't recall it at all. You're not missing anything, dude. Nothing happened. The only thing that happened was that Tony and Fei Long come to the realization that humanity is being betrayed by AI. And we all knew that was coming. We've known it for 9-10 lives of X-Men. We knew. And they should have known too. Like, Tony's not that dumb. All right, Miss Marvel and Mutant Menace. Mojo. We're dealing with the Mojoverse. She's doing her thing, and she's playing the part as a really cool X-Men. And she's able to liberate some other mutants from Mojo's control. That's basically this issue in a nutshell. And then we get a reunion with, I think its name is Red Dagger. It's one of Miss Marvel's compatriots. He shows up, so it was a cool issue. I'm still in on this, and to know and knowing that Miss Marvel will have a future with the X-Men, down. I'm happy about it, so I'm going to continue to read this. There wasn't crazy, like nothing crazy happened in this book, but we're just establishing more that this is where Miss Marvel belongs. She's a mutant, and there's going to be some if there's any mystery to be solved, does her mutant powers manifest at the end of this? And I have to assume yes, because she's glitching out in the book. And it's a problem. So I have to assume that the glitching out is her mutant powers trying to awaken. So,
well, and we know for sure now that they're not dropping her as a mutant because we know she's one of the main characters in the Nyx book, right?
Yep.
NYX. I don't know how it's supposed to be said.
Yeah, NYX. I think.
I don't. Yeah, that was always a weird thing to me.
Well, yeah, and when we've gotten, and I kind of just side note, like we're getting all these announcements about the X books, and you know, I was starting to hardline to be like, look, I'm just doing McKay, but as what?
I had nothing.
Okay, however I said that, sorry.
No, it's not how you said it. It's you're like an alcoholic that's saying, well, listen, I'm only gonna drink now. But
yeah, you're 100% right.
They gave me a whiskey too, and then I saw the vodka.
Yeah, well, dude, when you say Deadpool is going to be the main character of X-Force, I have to read it. With Miss Marvel being in the NYX, like I'm like, I gotta fucking read it. I'm actually really interested in the Phoenix book. Like, I read the solicit for it, and I was like, oh, damn it, that sounds cool too. Because guess who's
Cosmic, and I almost threw my phone. Was it?
Well, they said Cosmic, and then they said Nova sends out a distress call, and the Phoenix has to answer the call. I'm like, well, that's Nate's dick is just getting pulled right now. Like, he's on. What other book are we missing?
There's so many. I don't even know.
No, there's one more.
Oh, X Factor.
X Factor.
Yeah, the Forge book.
Fuck.
Forge leading book.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just, you know, something's got to go, and it's, you know, I'm definitely doing number ones. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Miss Marvel was good. I liked it. It wasn't groundbreaking, but I'm just happy that it exists, and that she is getting her time, and that she will be involved with the X-Men. I'm happy for that, because that means we're gonna get more of her. So,
I do like that part.
Yep. Did you read this?
I did not. Get to this one.
Okay, you're good. No, it's fine. It's fine. Mojo's crazy. Stefan with the super chat 499. Thank you so much, Jim. Could you get your take on Jack of Hearts after what went down in issue 7 with She-Hulk? Yeah. So we talked about it last week, but I will definitely talk. Whenever I can talk about it, I will. Is it shitty? Yes. It's incredibly shitty, but because of how well Rainbow Rowell has written Jack of Hearts, for some reason, there's a part of me, because of all the history that him and Ganymede have, Ganymede. The history between Jack of Hearts and Ganymede, which I didn't know jack shit about until Rainbow Rowell gave us homework. No, you're good, Stefan. There's a part of me that's like, well, like, the dude, I don't know. I'm very conflicted, because there's a part of me that's like, he's a fucking asshole. And then there's another part of me that's like, well, he did devote his life to her and basically said, like, I'm yours. It's just your stupid vows that are in the way. And I think because I have an internal conflict about the character, that made me just gush even more over Rainbow Rowell. But that being said, that direction when it happened in the issue felt incredibly abrupt. And so, like, I mean, I can't say that I'm not fanboying, and I'm just saying, you know what, I'll deal with it, because I think I am. But I am still 100% intrigued and ready to see what happens in that book.
This is telenovela comics at its peak, and
100%.
I love it. And I think, personally, I know Stefan didn't ask for my opinion. I'm going to give a quick opinion. If you have a strong feeling about the way Jack of Hearts should have acted, if you say, without a doubt, he should have done this, I don't think you know true love, and I don't think you know commitment, because there's no easy answer there. There's no
it's
easy
not.
answer.
No. Can't wait for issue 8. I can't agree with you more, 7. It's gonna be. I'm so excited for it. This is such a good book.
That is the best book Marvel's making right now, right?
Yeah, I mean it's up there. Like it's like She-Hulk, Moon Knight.
I'm happy when I get my Moon Knights. I'm happier when I get my She-Hulk.
You're right. You're fucking right. Yeah, and that's why I hope Rambo gets to write an Avengers story soon. Like, if Jed McKay jumps off of Avengers because he's writing X-Men, and then he hands the reins over to Rainbow Rowell, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, like I'm gonna lose my shit. Yeah. All right, Resurrection of Magneto. Short and sweet. We were all like, everyone. Even if you thought it or not, subconsciously you were like, is he going to go bad? Is Magneto going to go bad? Is he going to revert to his old ways? And Ewing gave us a taste of all of it, right? So it's clear that Magneto is here to save everyone, to be the savior. It's really just it's just dependent on how is he going to do it. And we get flashes of all of it, right? In this issue, Magneto is literally using 3 versions of his costume to kill people or to win, right? He's got his red helmet, he's got his white helmet, and he's got his black helmet. And he's literally like throwing them around like bullets, saving the day. But there is a point where he reverts back to his old self, but out of necessity. And that's when we've got these like souped up Orcus troops that have, mutant dampering weapons and telekinesis blockers and the whole 9 yards. Yeah. And he has to make a decision, and he does. He fucking makes them all into little bouncy balls. He just crush, and he does it without anybody seeing. But that Aurora knows that he did something bad. But with the state of where the mutants are, he really didn't have another choice. At least that's the way I saw it. Yeah. But it's very evident that there is a parallel with what Ewing is doing here and with what we're doing in X-Men 97. And that is Magneto is trying desperately to live up to either Xavier's expectations or the expectation of what Magneto wants to be, which is the savior of mutants, is the usher of a new era. It's just dependent on how he does it. Is it in a violent way? Is it the death of humans and the rise of Homo Superior? It's up to him. And so in this moment, in this book, Magneto is taking the higher road, if you will. And it was great. I thought it was good. It wasn't my pick of the week, but because it did have many moments of what's his name? Todd McFarlane writing style, which is I came into the room, I pulled off the door, and I lunged it through the cells to free the mutants. Here's Magneto. I know. It's almost like
Ewing doesn't do that.
No, he doesn't. And it happened in this book. And it's almost like I got to hit a certain word count, and no one's really telling me that, but that's what I'm doing. And it's incredibly frustrating because you get to that point, and you get halfway through the book, and you're like, I'm going to stop reading these blurbs, and I'm just going to look at the comic. And then when I see a speech bubble that's not a bubble that's more rectangular describing what's happening on the page, then I'll read it. And I'm sure, I'm going to have to go back and reread it because I'm sure there were little bits and bobs of just really big philosophical commentary that Magneto was going through. But it just kind of got old after a little bit. And that's why this issue is not my pick of the week, because it was so heavy with telling me what I was looking at. And I'm like, I can use my eyes. I know, like, let's be a little bit more tactful in the way we use our writing and art. Not well, if you really don't understand what's going on the page, you can read it too. And I'm like, I don't like that. That to me is an insult to the medium and to the writer, or to the reader, in my opinion. So because you're doing more work, and maybe it's an editorial thing. Maybe those are the notes that Ewing sent in, and they're like, oh, we got to print these. No. And it's like, no, the artist is doing it. The artist is doing fine. So, and then the other notable thing is, so Magneto's now in the maroon armor again, but he has, what's cool is he has an X, a small X on his chest. So saying like, I am an X-Men, which is pretty cool. So
Does he have the long 90s hair?
no, he has actually
thank
very
God.
short hair. He has very short hair, but his helmet is not like big. It's almost like a skull cap. It's like, it's on his head. Like it's not, not bulbous, which is not, there's nothing wrong with that older version of the helmet, but he has a very sleek version of his costume now. So pretty cool. All right, Ultimate X-Men issue number 2 from Peach Momoko. You know, character development. Yes, we get this new character. It felt a little rushed, in my opinion. You know, we established this new character very quickly, and we just kind of jump into it. Now, that being said, you know, that happens in manga, but the thing with manga is, you know, a Tokoban is like, what, 20 chapters in one, or it's something like that. And so when you do something like that in a manga, no big deal, because you've got, you know, 19 other chapters that you can establish this character and really get to understand them. And this, I think, is where I don't think it's not, Peach hasn't failed here, Marvel Comics has failed here, because they're basically saying, I think that Marvel is saying, hey, adapt how you would tell a story in Japan, but do it in our 32 to 38 pages and just make it work. And I don't, in some instances, it just doesn't. Like, you need more time. The medium, in my opinion, is longer. And the way American comics works, it doesn't reciprocate. It doesn't work. And so when you try to adapt that style of storytelling, yes, you end, like, at the end of Ultimate X-Men, I'm like, I want more, right? Yeah, but I want more because I know we could have gotten more, but then this book would have been $5.99, $6.99. It would have been it would have been more. And that's a fail. That is a Marvel problem, not a Peach Momoko problem. That being said, the story I thought was cool. I'm digging this new version of Storm. I'm still digging this creepy ass villain. I don't know. It's just creepy. I liked it. Yeah, I thought it was fun. I liked it a lot. I just think that Peach needs more time. She needs more pages.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously would like, when it's this good. Now you want more. I was fine with it. I mean, you know, there wasn't a ton of plot progression,
right?
But we did get some good character setup. I imagine this will probably pick up in the next issue or two. But the thing I love about this is that this is a huge, massive relaunch of one of your biggest titles. And they said, you know what? Fuck it. Peach Momoko horror. That's what we've been screaming for Marvel to do.
Right.
So I will be picking up this book till I am blue in the face.
Yeah.
Begging for pennies. Because I will totally support this type of editorial.
Yeah, well, and the best part about it is it's still pissing off those. This isn't. Why can't this be like the other Ultimate titles? And I'm like, shut up! Like, just shut up. Deal with it, guy, gal, they, them. I don't know, all of you. All right, let's jump over to DC, and I can't wait. Nate, why are you dropping this book?
Yeah, I'm dropping this book.
Yeah, why? So why?
Yeah,
I want to know why.
Well, because
I feel like I know. I feel like I know why, but I want to. Okay.
Because you know how I was just yelling earlier about how we shouldn't talk shit in people's art and how we're as good as them at that. And, I'm pretty sure I could write Batman better than them. I'm pretty sure. Like, it's not just because I've been published twice and I'm a pretty good writer.
Okay.
But
so, which is it? Both storylines that are pissing you off, or is it one storyline that's pissing you off?
The Batman storyline.
Okay.
Listen, there is a clear.
I agree. Then we agree.
It is clear what we should be doing here. This should be Williamson's Robin Volume 2. There's no reason for this to be Batman and Robin. We got a tiny, microscopic glimpse of what it could have been. He fumbled it, and then he dropped it, and it shattered on the floor, and now he's rubbing his face ass, saying, no, I can fix this, trust me. And it's embarrassing. It's flat out embarrassing. I'm not interested in his weird Batman stories. I don't want them in this story. This isn't supposed to be a Robin story with a Batman backup, right? Like, this is supposed to be Batman and Robin. There's supposed to be a story of them together. We got that slice of life stuff for a minute, and then it just disappeared. I'm not supporting this anymore. I'm not giving any more money for the story.
Let me I just want to take a crack at potentially saving you. Just let me try.
Okay.
If you take the Batman bit out, which to me was unnecessary.
So it's half the book. Yes. So if I
rip it is half the book. Yes, it is. And I know that's I'm already half a leg gone, right? The Flatline Robin stuff just pulled at my heart. Like, their interactions, Damian just doing his thing, him fucking pissed that he didn't see the double cross from Flatline and him being mad about it, and Flatline like giving him a pat on the back, like, "Oh, buddy, it's okay. Like, everything's gonna be fine. Can we still hang out? Sweet." Like, that to me, I was just like, yes. And then we get to Batman, and it's like, shush, I betrayed you. I'm like, I don't fucking. That's why we have a Chip Zdarsky Batman book. Like, I don't care. And then at the end, when we get Flatline in school, I'm just like, yes, like, this is what I want, and this is what I want to see. And I'm not going to try to convince you to keep it. Like, I know that you're going to drop it, but like that is what gives me hope about this book, is the Robin Flatline thing, and the fact that at least for another issue, we still get Flatline, and we're potentially getting Flatline in school. And we also, I mean, we're all in agreement that the principal is not Shush. It's the teacher, right? Like, it's not the principal. It's the teacher that showed up at. No, it's the teacher, because the teacher was like, "I gotta talk to you, because yeah, your father got kidnapped by a giant fucking bat, and it's my fault, right?" I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think that I'm going to suffer through this uncharacteristic Batman storyline strictly for Robin Flatline, and the minute Flatline says, "I'm leaving, I'm going back to Japan," I'm out.
I look forward to hearing what you have to say about it.
Okay. Empire says Batman and
sorry, go ahead.
Well, Empire says Batman and Robin is my pick of the week. Normally it would be Beneath the Tree, but it was too fast this time and mostly set up for the next issue. But the bear fight and the damn it, notification came by. Snakes coming out of his head. Was that for Beneath the Trees?
Yeah.
We didn't read that.
Let me reiterate.
Okay.
The Flatline Robin story is good. It's
the core.
It's 4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
The Batman stuff and the structure of this book and the complete abomination of what this book should be is so much worse that it outweighs the good of the Flatline story for me. So if the part you enjoyed of this book is the Flatline and Robin stuff, I'm right there with you. It's the other stuff that has driven me to.
What did you think about the artwork?
I like the artwork because this is what's his name? He did like 8 or 9 issues from the Robin. So this felt like that story to me. This felt again like Robin Volume 2, and so I mean, obviously it's no Simone Mio, but like, no, it's
that was good.
Don't you dare try to ask me to pronounce that yet. But he did some good issues, some really fun issues on the Robin stuff, and so I really liked that.
Right.
Not enough.
All right. Empire, I'm glad it's your pick of the week because I think the Flatline Robin stuff was great.
Me too. We want comics to be diverse like that.
Yeah, but Batman is just unnecessary. At least in the capacity that he's in currently. Go back to the other stuff, you're gonna be fine. But all right, our last book of the night, Green Lantern in issue number 10 from Adams. I only have one qualm about this book. Everything else was great. I really liked this issue. It also, did like what we did in 97, and there's a little bit of like, God damn it, Hal. And that's him just his emotions getting the best of him and him bull rushing in.
Mhm.
But before
this
that,
is Adams showing why he's a terrible
right.
center.
But let me there's one, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there was one inconsistency from issue 9 to issue 10. So when we start off in this issue, Joe's like, don't use your power ring. They'll know exactly where we're at. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But in issue 9, she shows up in a fucking green tank, like, get on, cowboy, woo woo, and she's using her fucking ring. And I couldn't stop thinking about that when she was like, Hal, don't. And yeah, show me, Nate, because like
No, I don't remember. That's why I'm looking.
No, I know. But I'm saying like I'm supporting you looking for it. Because like I remember when she showed up, she's literally in a ring generated tank going like, hop in. And then we get into this issue and she's like, don't use your power ring. Don't ever do that. Don't do it. They'll come for us. Like that. We're fucked if you do. And so throughout this issue, for some reason, I just couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't focus because of that. And
You're
100%
correct.
See what I'm saying? And so like I was like, wait, I'm like, what's going on here? Like this doesn't make sense because she was literally like flaunting her powers when she found Hal. So it didn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, it could be the simple fact that she was like, it's worth it to risk.
Right.
Because Hal was literally being chained up and getting his ass whooped by the manipulator lanterns. So it could have been a judgment call, but I still agree. That's an inconsistency that should have been better addressed.
Well, and I think why it bugs me. What's up, Charles? I think the reason why it bothers me is because like the entire issue, all the other lanterns are like, Hal, don't do it. Don't fucking use your powers.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get pissed at him, rightfully so, because like he does it and he breaks the rule that they're establishing, right? So like it makes sense. But like all I could think about was issue 9 when she showed up in a tank. Like, so other than that, I liked the explanation of how we potentially know how these new lanterns are, changing their spectrum of color. It's because there are magic users now that are manipulating the rings. I'm like, that's fucking cool. And then we actually see them, the council, like floating and being like, this has got me pumped, and I'm really hopeful. Hal does what Hal wants. Yeah, I'm very hopeful that we are potentially inching towards a DC Green Lantern event. I kind of want it. Like I've never really experienced it live. I've seen the Sinestro Wars from afar. I've seen, the introduction of the other cores from afar. And like, I just kind of want it. I kind of want it in this sense. Like if we can get where we're fighting, the Lantern cores have to unite because they've got to fight the, whatever it is, Universal Planet Corps and their lanterns who can quite literally change the color of their rings at the snap of fingers. I'm like, I want it. I want to see that. And if that is an event, that is a DC event that I would get behind. Not another fucking Crisis event. I just can't do it.
Yeah, this is the story I wanted from the start. I honestly don't understand why we were on Earth that long. I think it's dumb. The whole Carol, will they, won't they, for like the 1000th time.
Yeah.
I'm super uninterested in that stuff. Very glad that we're here. Not going to complain too much because we're here now.
Yep.
But boy, if we don't stay here for like a dozen issues, I'm upset. Like, including all of the lanterns is something that shouldn't have waited this long. But now that we're here, like, let's stay here. Let's stay here.
I think we will. But it's silly to think that they're not gonna. I mean, we just unearthed the battery on Earth. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Like there's. But I agree with you. Like the universal planets and this core that can just be so disruptive, like that should not be an arc. That should be 2 to 3, extensive arcs and loss and winning and emotion, like, and big reveals. And there should be some upgrades. Like, I feel like, yeah, Earth is the battery. Great. The Earth Lanterns have an upper hand. Awesome. What new toy do we get though? Like, they got to get something, like not just that they have a battery. If that's the only big reveal, then I feel like it's a loss. But if they get some cool shit too, then like even the explanation in this book of the why the Corps was split up and that they were killing them off, like that was like, dude, that's some Game of Thrones shit right there. Like, go on this mission, nah, dead. Like that's intense. So like that's why I'm hopeful that we might actually get a really cool Green Lantern event. So
this isn't gonna happen. It's not.
Okay.
But I have a very cool way that this could go help with the book. We know that the new lanterns are magic users. So what needs to happen is one of our lanterns, let's just say Simon, he's not my favorite, dies.
Okay. And
his ring's got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It goes to 2184 and it picks an Earth magic user like Zatanna or Constantine. Now, though, of course, there's not going to pick someone that big, but like it picks an Earth magic user.
Shazam.
Boom, you're worthy. Get to Oa. We got shit to do. You're going to be the new, can do all the shit, lantern.
I like Zatanna.
That would be dope.
I think that would be dope. Zatanna...
Yeah, I mean that would be great. And she's not. Like, what do we do? I don't think she's being used right now. She's just sitting on the shelf.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
I think that'd be dope.
Cool. That's dope, dude. Who said it? I think it was Joe. Did you guys pick up Action Comics? I did not.
Oh, yes. That was the book I was talking about. That, like, I don't know why I did. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I did it.
You got caught?
I don't know why. I got caught. I slipped. They caught me slipping. Did I take the time to write a review here? I did. I don't know, man. A lot of the things that people liked of this book, I didn't really. The beginning where it's like highlighting everyone, like it basically shows Lois. Oh, Lois Lane took the day off and she's going for a run through Metropolis, and she's like, "Bye, kids, and bye, Zara, and bye, everyone. But I'm meeting Jimmy in the park. We're gonna do yoga," and like, and then Superman shows up or Clark Kent shows up, and hey, we're gonna do yoga in the park, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're being invaded by robots, and I'm just like, I don't feel any weight here. I don't like we just went through this. Everything's about to end crisis, the last issue. And now all of a sudden it's happening again. And Luthor's like, oh, but wait, there's this one thing. It's a secret. It's very weird. I didn't tell you about it. And you might hate me for it, but if it's this weird thing in the time and the rays in the sun and I hit I've got armor enough to make me survive for a second. And it's like, we just did that too. We've done that twice already in the Superman. Like, I don't know. The art was really good. Rafa Sandoval did a fantastic job. There's like one scene where like Superman's like flying over the ocean and like flying with like fucking dolphins and shit. It was dope. Like, it looks really. I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in what this is. I don't really care about Brainiac. I certainly don't care about these logos. I have no interest.
And I think it's more of, Nate, that we are not as versed in DC, and so we're just like you said, like you're not excited about Brainiac. Like we were all in on the Super Core, Lex being behind bars, and Superman having all of this massive amount of real estate and property and whatever you want to call it, assets at his disposal. And then you've got these other bad guys that are wielding artificial kryptonite, and like it just was a really cool form of storytelling. And then we're jumping back into Brainiac, and like I think for us, we're still kind of dealing with, well, where's House of L? Where's Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman? Where's the family? Like where are the kids? And like none of that.
They get included. They just all captured.
Right, and so like that immediately is a disinterest to us. Like that's because that we were about that.
I see what you're saying, but I don't agree, because Philip Kennedy Johnson had me thoroughly enthralled, and I didn't know anything about it. Tom Taylor had me thoroughly enthralled, and I didn't know anything about John. I can't remember who wrote the Superboy book, but I was absolutely into it, and I don't know anything about Superboy. Shit, Williamson had me in for the first like 5 issues of his run.
Right.
I don't fall for that. Like this book has not had enough build to it. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of weight. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm burned out on Williamson and his inability to tell a consistent story. I don't know what it is. And here's the worst part. You want to know what the worst part is? I'm gonna read the next issue. This is the last issue before I canceled my sub, so I committed to purchasing this. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna tell the shop take it back. I'm gonna read it. Who knows? I mean, literally, I'm giving Williamson a second shot when he doesn't in my book. But let's see. Maybe it'll get better because I don't see where this is going, and I'm not interested really. So unless we get this really cool focus on all, because everyone gets captured, right? Supergirl, Superwoman, the kids, John, Luther, like everyone gets captured. Even I can't remember Jimmy Olsen's girlfriend. That she's like Livewire,
White,
or no,
Banshee,
yeah, Silver Banshee or something like that.
Silver
Screaming
Banshee.
Banshee. She gets taken to, if the focus is on like this rebellion of those characters, done. If it's just Clark punching his way through shit, I don't care. Like, that's not interesting.
What happened to Superman or Clark being able to instant transmission anywhere? You know, I mean, we established that before the run even started in that annual, remember? Where he like Luther shot him across like multiple universes and he was like, pew, I'm back. You know, like we haven't done that either. You know, like I don't know. I'm not trying to shit on it, but I'm not DC right now is on a incredible short leash when it comes to these like events that spawn across different books. Like, you got to read this. You got to, like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
And that's the other thing is so many people online were like, big DC event. And I'm like, it's just 5 issues of Superman books. There's a couple of tie-ins, but like they're just chilling.
Yeah,
like
I
didn't read the backup in this mainly because I was out of time, not because I wasn't going to. But like this is where because like the issue ends with Superman getting all angry face going, where's Lobo? Yeah. And then in this backup we're supposed to see where Lobo is with Guy Gardner. I don't care though.
And I think
it's hard to motivate.
For me, DC's in trouble for me on my pull. And I know that's not, I mean, everyone has their opinion on it, but like I just don't like, I'm looking at next week's books and like we've got Wonder Woman. And then we've got Nightwing. And it's the 300th issue with
Nightwing's ending, so
right, it's ending, and I don't have any hope that we're gonna get any any form of resolve with the Heartless storyline. And to top it off, this issue 113 is the Legacy 300th issue, so there's gonna be a bunch of different old backup stories that have nothing to do with what Tom Taylor was talking about. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop being negative because that's not what the show's about. But DC's on a short leash for me right now. And I hate saying that because I know we have a lot of DC fans and I don't want to disappoint. But at the same time, they're not doing anything outside of Green Lantern because I think Green Lantern's super fun. And Batman, Chip Zdarsky's Batman, super fun. But like right now, I'm just not digging DC at the moment. And I don't know if that's my lack of DC knowledge or if it's they're just not doing fun and exciting things.
I find more monetary value in my independence right now.
Yeah, which is, you know,
however,
we've seen.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No.
Nope.
Go on. I don't know. What
I was just gonna say. Very specifically when it pertains to this night, I will give them credit where credit is due. This is a 300th issue. You know, they like to blow it out with the 9.99s. This is only a $4.99 book. It only has one backup story, which is by Marv Wolfman, the guy that created Nightwing. So I'm interested. And the 2 artists are our original artists, Bruno Redondo, and Daniel DiNiculo, the 7 Secrets artist, who of course wrote 7 Secrets with Tom Taylor.
But you have to understand why
I know.
a little like,
of course. I was just saying, I just wanted to make you excited about this book.
Okay.
After seeing that, I am excited.
We'll talk about it in New Comic Book Day, which is going to be this Tuesday, dropping at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, anyway, that's going to do it for episode 170 of Two Fat Guys Pull Us Live here on YouTube. Thank you, everyone that showed up here live to watch us live, and everyone that is watching this as a past episode. We do very much appreciate you. Thank you to Stefan and John for the super chats, and to all of our members, Holden, John, Patty, and I'm missing another one. I did it again. I missed one.
You're supposed to write it down.
I was supposed to write it down. John, Patty, Holden. Who is the other one? No, we're not ending this until I remember.
Jesus Christ.
Because I feel like an ass for forgetting, and I want to say your name on the show. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to go over to members. Because I feel like Joe. It's Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. You're going to watch this back and you'll be like, you didn't say my name.
He's right now, and he's busting his ass right now.
He's busting his ass right now, working
overtime.
extra shift so he can come back and watch us talk about comics. And I fucking forgot his name. I'm sorry, Joe. Anyway, thanks everyone that has watched. Thank you to all of our members. And we will catch you guys again Tuesday for New Comic Book Day, and then live again this Sunday. Potentially, it may be a solo show. We'll have to see. Nate is in the middle of Nate's moving. So he may or may not be here.
Think about all this shit.
Yeah, so if he's not here, it'll be me flying solo, and we'll get through it together. We'll hang out, we'll talk about stuff, but cross your fingers that Nate'll be here. But I do believe you said the 28th. You
28th,
will not.
100% I will not be here.
28th.
Taking my girlfriend to the Hosier show.
So the 28th, let me look here just to make sure. So that's going to be not next week, but the week after. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
I'll probably do a solo show because I'm looking at the books that are there, and we've got Avengers, Daredevil, Dawn Runner, Duke, Gods issue 7, Green Arrow, Rise of Power of X number 4, Ultimate Spider-Man, and X-Men Forever number 2. So I kind of want to be here for that. So we may get 2 solo shows in a row, or maybe if we talk about it, maybe we'll just do a pre-record show and just do quick reviews. We'll see. Either way, you're gonna get content. We're not gonna be like cancel Joe. Like there will be something, whether it's a live issue or a pre-recorded issue. You will be getting your Two Fat Guys Pull List no matter what. So don't fret, don't worry. You'll get a little bit of slots. Don't worry. Anyway, see you guys later. We'll catch you guys. But as always, fam, be kind to one another and read more comics. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
John, I am not looking forward to moving all these goddamn books. It's going to be so bad.
Sick. I have a good time. John talking about them books. All right, guys. We'll talk.